Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today to talk again about the American Made Solar Prize. We are so excited to have you guys on the call with us. We are doing a recording of this, so if you want to refer back to this at another time, that recording will be available to you. Or if you know of somebody who was not able to make it, that recording will also be available to those folks as well. So I'm Debbie Broad-Giles. I'm at the National Renewable Energy Laboratory, and I am a part of the team that is leading the American Made Solar Prize. We also have Victor Kane from the Department of Energy on the line. So we are both here today to try to help answer any of your last-minute questions that you might have in submitting to the READY contest. The presentation I'm going to go through today is a little bit more abbreviated than what we have done in the past, because at this point we hope that you guys have already read the rules and you really understand what the program is all about. So really today I want to focus on the important dates and the events that are coming up, and how to submit for the READY contest and what that judging criteria looks like. We're going to open it up mostly for your Q&A today, so open office hours. So you could go ahead and put in your questions as I'm speaking, and then we will try to get to those questions at the end of the presentation. So first of all, the important dates are here. I don't know why this top one's not showing up, but right now it's time to innovate. It's time for you to, oh boy, I just had an error come through. I'm having that same problem with my PowerPoint, it appears. So hang on, I'm going to pull up my PowerPoint again. Okay, I'll get back into this. Sorry for that technical difficulty. Okay, so here we go. So really, the time is now to be innovating and competing. As you know, you should know that time has been what we needed you to do already. So we needed you to be competing, trying to vet your ideas with industry, etc. And now today, on October 2nd, is the last opportunity for you to put in your ideas in the ideation platform. So it's, you don't need to necessarily have your idea in the ideation platform to go ahead and win the READY contest. But if you would like your idea to be considered as something that some team or yourself is going to carry all the way through to the GO contest, now's the time to get that in. So make sure you get that in today. And then on Friday, that's the big day. So October 5th, that's the last day to complete your submission for the READY contest. You must be considered, you must submit for the READY contest and be a winner of the READY contest in order to participate in Set and Go. So it's very important to make sure that you don't miss that deadline. The other thing I would like to mention is that, hopefully the HeroX platform will be available to you and working just perfectly fine. But it does make sense to try to potentially get your submission in maybe the day before or early in the morning on the 5th, just in case there is any technical difficulties on your end, maybe with a connection issue, or maybe you find out you don't have all the required fields. That way it gives you a little bit of time to make sure that you have enough time to complete it. But that day is the 5th, so we're really excited to see what you guys are going to be submitting. As you know, there are official rules out there. I'm sure by now you have read those rules. If you have not read the rules, they are on the AmericanMadeChallenges.org website, and we encourage you to read those rules very carefully. There is some great tips in those rules when it comes to submission as well. Like I said, now's the time to put your ideas in ideation, and make sure that if your idea is in there, you will be considered for that $1,000 achievement payment if a team goes all the way through to win the GO contest and uses that idea. So you guys are on the call likely because you are innovators, so that's great. And this is what our contest looks like. It's Ready, Set, and Go. So the READY contest is what we're in now. This is really where you need to be making a plan to innovate. The next contest is the set contest, and then the go contest. And like I said, there's a gateway to get into the set and go by being a winner of the ready contest. Like I said, each of these areas is $1 million per prize area. And the ready contest is fast approaching that submission deadline for this Friday. So what you should be doing for the ready contest is right now transforming that your important problem statement into a plan of action. We, as you know, you should have been competing already. This is not a time to put in an idea of how to compete. This is your chance to tell us what you've been doing over the last few months as a competitor. So tell us exactly what that problem is, what your great solution is, why it's important to industry, who you've been working with industry. Please let us know if you've been working with any of our connectors. Tell us what that proof of concept is going to look like and what your plan of action is going to be moving forward. I think it's stuck again. Oh boy. Apologize for my PowerPoint issues. I'm bringing it back up again. Okay, so here we are. We're back into the PowerPoint. Basically, you had the last 90 days to compete in the contest. And so, once again, you have your problem and your solution. You have developed, hopefully, a very credible solution that's going to solve a real-world problem. And you've done some due diligence to, figure out the technical feasibility and the market feasibility of your problem statement. Hopefully, you've built a great team with great experts, and you've had some engagement with industry to vet your idea. Okay. All right. So what you're going to be submitting on Friday. You guys probably already know this. I know you've been working on it, but I just want to go over it one more time. There's a 90-second video. Hopefully you have that completed already, or you are working to finalize that. We're looking for a 90-second video. We've said this before, but it could be not that perfectly polished. You don't have to have the perfect video production video. You can just go ahead and use your iPhone and do a great video. And what we're really looking for there is, your kind of like the quick overview, the quick elevator pitch on what your idea is and why your team is so successful and is going to be successful in this project. A quick cover page. And then the big piece of this submission is really the 2,500 word narrative answers to the 4 different questions about the problem, solution, team, and plan. And then the technical assistance request is just a quick 2-pager. We've discussed this before in the past as well, but this is your opportunity to ask for assistance from a national lab or from one of the fabrication facilities. And then there's the PowerPoint slide, which is just a nice summary of your project, and the potential letters of commitment or support. The 90-second video. Last time that we had a webinar, we went through some tips and tricks on making that video engaging. We do have that video posted on our YouTube channel, so you're welcome to refer back to that. But the bottom line is be yourself, be creative, and, just kind of show yourself and the excitement that you have for your project in that 90-second video. The next are those 4 questions. What is the problem and why are you solving it? What is your solution? Why will this solution be really successful? What is your team? And what kind of capabilities does that team bring to the table? And then also your plan. The plan is, your plan of action now and then also into the future. We want to make sure that, if you do win the prize money, then you are taking that prize money and you're leveraging it for the benefit of your solution and into the future. The narrative content. So this is just one example. This is for question 1. This information is taken out of the rules document, so you can definitely refer back to the rules for all of the different questions. But the bottom line is that we've bulletized some of the important aspects of what you need to cover for each question, and we've also identified what the judges are going to be scoring each question. So that's really important to take into account. Just kind of think about those judges that are going to be looking at these submissions and make sure that the judges, that the judging criteria is something that you actually consider when you're putting together your submission. Okay, the technical assistance request. So we've talked about this before as well, but the bottom line here is you don't necessarily need to know the exact type of help that you need. You don't need to know the facility necessarily that you want to engage with or the type of equipment necessarily. If you don't know those things, just go ahead and tell us what your issues are that you're trying to overcome. If we kind of have a feeling about what those issues are, then we can match those up with experts at the national labs and at the fabrication facilities. So you could be very specific and say that you are interested in, a 3D printer or some kind of fabrication help or some kind of testing or validation help. But if you don't know that for sure, take a step back and think about the big issues that you're trying to tackle, and just put that down in writing, and then we will have experts review those things and then get back to you on what we think that we can do to help you overcome those obstacles. Okay, so the submission package is super easy. This is something that you're going to be doing on the HeroX platform itself. You're going to create a submission and go through all of the different elements of that submission package. And you could use the template that we've provided. You do not need to use that template, but we did provide the template because if you fill out that template ahead of time, that makes sure that you have all of the necessary elements that you will need to put into the submission. So if you fill that out, I think that just puts you a little bit ahead of the curve and allows you to complete it all in that Word doc on the side. Okay, so we have talked about this before too, but for those of you that were not on the last call, you do need to be aware that we are asking all of the competitors to rank submissions. So this is a new requirement and the rules have been updated, but we would like to utilize the competitor community because you guys have a wealth of knowledge and expertise. And so we would really love for you to kind of take the first stab at helping us rank our submissions. So each of you, once you submit your submission on Friday the 5th, and that submission period closes, you will be given 2 sets of 5 submissions that will be ranked by you. Those sets of 5 submissions should be coming to you on Saturday, right after the submission period closes. So if you're really excited, you could dive right in and start doing those submission rankings on Saturday. But they will be open until October 10th, I believe. So we do need all the competitors to rank those submissions, and it will be done on the HeroX platform. We will have video training that we are working on finalizing right now. So when we do send out those 2 sets of 5 submissions, we will also be sending you a link to where you will find that video training session. And we are going to be asking that all the competitors do this ranking within the 2 business days. So like I said, they'll be up and ready for you on Saturday, but they definitely need to be done by Monday or Tuesday the next week. That's correct, right? Monday or Tuesday. Okay. So, and let me just kind of dive in a little bit deeper there on the ranking. So you're going to log into the HeroX platform. You will have already done that because you've already, submitted a submission by that time. So you'll have your email and login information all set and ready. And then there will be some buttons that will help you direct you to to view those submissions. We do recommend that you read all the entries before you input your ranking. This will kind of eliminate the back and forth. So if you guys can look at all 5 rankings individually, kind of make your determinations on what those rankings are, and then when you get into the HeroX platform, it's super easy to just put, your 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 rankings in there. I think that'd be very helpful. Just make sure that when you're looking at the rankings, you're considering the same things that you considered when you put in your submission. And also think about the judging criteria again. So make sure that you're looking for, strong team capabilities, a good problem, solution fit, and it would be great to also know how these teams are engaging the network. You're going to get access to all the public information from these 5 submissions. You're not going to be able to see the private or the information, which includes the 2,500 word write-up. So you're not going to get all the information, but you should have enough information based on the video and a lot of that other information that will give you a good idea of how you feel that you can rank these things. Also, before you start the ranking, there will be a quick little NDA that you will have to click through. You are not getting, just to be clear, you are not getting any proprietary information, but we do have the NDA in place there because that's how our judging platform works, and we can't kind of bypass the NDA. So we did add some language to the NDA that talks specifically about the ranking piece of the submission package. And so as a competitor who's doing the ranking, you'll see the wording there, but basically it says that the NDA basically doesn't apply because there isn't any proprietary information that you're seeing. But you do need to click through it to get on in there for the rankings. So like I said, we will be having a video that will be linked to for that day, and we will have some folks on board and ready to help you if you run into any problems. So feel free to reach out to our team over the weekend or Monday or Tuesday if you do need assistance. Okay, so moving forward, the judges, after we do the rankings, the judges will get a chance to see the submissions. And so the judges will be signing the NDA and because they will be seeing your 2,500 word write-ups. So they will get those. They will have, a set amount of time to do the reviews, and then we will be turning around the award winners as quickly as possible. Okay, so I just want to remind you, too, to use these last couple days to utilize the network. So we have the power connectors that are listed right here on the slide for you. They are willing and able to help you. And I know a lot of you have been reaching out to them, which is great. You can also reach out to all of the other competitor or all of the other connectors that are on our map that you could find on our website in the Connect area. Please reach out to 1 or 2 or even 3 of them if you feel the need to do so. They are here. They can help you review your submission package. They can help you with, final touches on videos. They can help you and just get connected to folks in the industry. So I definitely encourage you to utilize that network. If you do, please remember to put their names on your submission package so that they will also be getting credit for that. I just want to let you know that we recently, the solar team, went to SPI, the Solar Power International Conference, and we had a couple of great events there. We had a networking event and a panel event, and at both of those events, we were very excited to meet some of the competitors. And if you were some of those folks that we met, we were really, really so happy to meet you guys. It was wonderful to see both competitors as well as connectors there. We had the Nation of Makers represented there by Dorothy Jones Davis, and we had a number of competitors there. So it was really exciting to kind of hear what you guys are doing. And I just wanted to show this because we had a lot of fun at that event as well. Okay, so one more view of those important dates. We already held those 2 September events at SPI. September 2nd, this is, like I said, your last day to put in some great ideas in the ideation platform to be considered for this READY contest. But please remember, ideation will remain open, so when we're looking out to the future for additional prize challenges, we will continue this ideation platform idea area. So please keep those ideas flowing. And then October 5th on Friday, it's time to submit your Ready contest submissions. And then by November, we will know who the winners are, which will be really exciting. And then February and June are the dates for the Set and Go demo days, which if you win Ready, those will be opportunities for you in February and June. Okay, so we are done with the main portion of the presentation. So I will start diving into the question pane here. And then I know Victor hopefully has been looking at some questions as well, and we'll do our best to answer as many questions as we can as we go here.
Yep. Hi, this is Victor Kane from the DOE. Let's see. So Debbie, I think we'll just kind of hand off these as we read through them. I'll take the first one. So do technologies related to solar thermal, such as solar water heaters and space heaters, are they eligible? So the Solar Technologies Office funds technologies that produce energy rather than technologies that improve efficiency. There's another office called the Building Technologies Office that focuses on research that improve efficiency. So that would probably be a better fit for there. But that being said, we're not forbidding anything specifically. However, in order for it to be, very applicable, it should focus on solar energy production or related technologies.
Okay, one of the folks asked about the weight that we put on the letters of support and how many letters of support we would recommend. The letters of support is an optional feature, so it's optional, but I will say that, of course, having strong letters of support from industry always looks great. We do require that you kind of vetted your idea and your solution with industry, so I would say that having letters of support would be very beneficial to your package, but it's not necessary necessarily. But if you had 1 or 2 or even 3 letters of support, I think that would be great. Yes, we're going to make this webinar available. We usually record them and we post them on our YouTube channel, and we will be doing the same today.
There's a question about submitting 2 completely different ideas. I don't believe we have restricted in the rules the number of submissions you can submit, but I believe HeroX allows 1 submission per primary account holder. So it might to submit another idea, I believe you might have to have a partner submit that. I don't know if Nick is on the line to explain that further.
Yes, I'm here. So okay. I can help clarify that a little bit. You actually can create multiple entries through a single user account. I think what you were just referring to there, Victor, is that a competitor may only be part of 1 team on the platform. So, but yes, there is a way to submit multiple entries. So when you first land on the HeroX page and you accept the challenge, there is a button that says Begin Entry or something of that nature. It's a big red button. So you'll click that, and once you step through that submission process and complete it, when you are back on the main page, you can see your existing submission, so you can always click back into it to make edits as needed. And there should also be the same button should continue to exist below that, where you can create another entry.
Yep. All right. Thanks, Nick. The next one is about if there's a specific format for the video. And the answer is no. It's up to you on how you think you can best address the questions and the judging criteria that we listed in the rules. The specific question asks if you are allowed to do sort of a webinar format versus a kind of person on a stage pitching format, and there's not a preference there. So it's whatever you think will best present your innovation in the 90-second window.
The next one is about ideation, and so this clearly there's a little confusion around ideation. So let's just I'll try to clarify for you. So the ideation area is really just a place to share ideas and kind of spur conversation amongst the community. So you do not need to put your idea in the ideation platform to be considered for the Ready, Set, or Go as a winner in any of those. So we were hoping that, there'd be a lot of ideas flowing and being shared in that platform. But if you did not want to share it there, that's totally okay. You did not need to do that. You could still use your idea, go through win the Ready, win Set, and win Go, and that would be great. Now, the only thing is that if an idea makes it all the way through and one of the winners uses your idea and wins Go, that idea also wins $1,000. So, but if you didn't put it in, then that's fine. There'd be nobody to win $1,000 in that case. But if you did put it in ideation and it did make it all the way through and the winner selected your idea and they won the Go contest, then that person who put in that original idea would get $1,000.
Right. And so I think maybe, Debbie, the part of the confusion was from the form, the actual submission form, or there's a field asking you to identify the ideation entry that may have helped spur on your idea. You can leave that blank. That's an optional field. That's just there in case you were looking through ideation and something someone posted there helped you get started in developing your solution idea. But everything on ideation is completely open. So anything you post on there is freely available for anyone to access and utilize and read through. So important distinction.
Yep, good point, Victor.
Mm-hmm.
And then
so someone's talking about utilizing an engineering partner and whether they should be listed. I think if you're legitimately working with another entity in your solution, there's a field for kind of a team, who's on your team and who are you working with in the template form. So yeah, I would list people that are going to be core to your success on there.
Yep. So there's a question about the 90 days and when that exactly starts. And so the difference with this prize program is that, the Ready Challenge, we kind of kicked off in June and we're wrapping it up this Friday. So really that's the 90 days where the competitors were supposed to be competing over the last 90 days. And now you're proving, all that great work that you did and you're submitting through your submission. Once you win the Ready contest and you move to the Set contest, now you will have a new 90 days period where you will be competing in the Set contest and then the Go. So the way I look at the 90 days is that it's kind of the competition period that happened before the submission. Now, if you go through and you win, then of course there's another 90 days in the next round. But that's kind of how that works.
Right. There's a question about two quick questions here, actually. What if someone's video goes over 90 seconds? How would that be handled? We're just going to stop watching at 90 seconds. So if you go over, it's not like it won't be reviewed at all. We just won't review anything after the 90 seconds. And then the other one was clarifying 90 seconds versus 120. To that individual, I think they're reading the wrong section of the rules on page 15. Which goes over the requirements for the Ready contest, which is the contest we're in right now. That's 90. I believe the Set and Go contest might have 120-second videos to provide a little bit more time in later stages.
There's a question about if somebody has not been part of a team to date, can you still compete by October 5th? And the answer is yes. So there's still time to compete, right? So potentially, maybe you didn't know about the contest until just recently. But clearly, if you have a solution and you've been working that solution anyway on the side, basically you were competing, right? You didn't necessarily know about the prize challenge, but you were competing. So you still, there wasn't any requirement to sign up, at an earlier date. The first date of submission is going to be this Friday. So I would encourage you to submit your submission and then talk about what you have been doing for the past 90 days, just as if you were competing, because, potentially you were competing. You were actually doing work related to your solution. So yes, there's still time to do that.
There's a question on whether someone can list NASA as a partner since they have some other work with NASA. I think if NASA considers themselves a partner to you and you consider NASA a partner, then yes. But if you're doing a different grant or something with NASA, I think that would be listed as a grant that you have or something like that. They would not be a connector because currently NASA is not signed up as a connector on our connector webpage. So you would list a connector that's listed on our site as a connector for someone that is helping you try and succeed. So if there is an entity that's trying to help you succeed and they're listed as a connector, they can actually get rewarded by us as well. So that's what that field is asking for.
So someone's asking about the difference between submitting as an individual versus a company. And really, this is going to be up to you. So you can submit as an individual person, and then you could list team members on the HeroX submission package, or you could sign up as a company. Either way, I mean, it's up to you guys. If you win, we will be paying the prize money to whoever kind of is that PI or the lead, and whoever completes the ACH form and the W-9 form. So whoever, I guess one way to look at it is whoever wins is going to have the tax liability of that prize money. So, and it's up to you guys as the team to separate that money and divvy it up however you see fit. So I guess just take that into account when you are submitting, that the lead person basically, or the lead company, is going to be the one that will be getting the prize money.
Right. Also, you're allowed to submit as an individual in the Ready contest. However, if you win the Ready contest and would like to win the Set and the Go contest, there is a requirement for filing as a business entity or registering as a business entity to win those prizes. So that it will be required later if you're not quite ready to do it now.
The timing of the submissions on the 5th is 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time.
Correct.
Right, and just to be clear, the system will lock out completely at 11:59 exactly. So if you're in the middle of trying to do something in the system and have not yet submitted, you will not be able to submit. So as Debbie mentioned, we strongly encourage you to not wait until the last minute. And it's probably a best practice to try and get it in before 5 p.m. Eastern Time to make sure tech support and all the various entities are available to you if you have problems finishing the process.
Mm-hmm. So the question about intellectual property, we've covered this in the past, but the bottom line is that the program has been designed so that that the competitor's intellectual property is secure with you guys. So the work that you do at the national labs, that'll be completely 100% secure. You will come with your ideas. You will leave with your ideas. But it is something that you, as a competitor, should consider. So if you are coming into the program without a patent, for example, or a provisional patent, you need to be aware of what that means. So when you share your ideas with others or potentially use a facility that's not a national laboratory, you may want to enter into agreements with those entities with using NDAs or other agreements that would make sure that you protect your IP.
Right. Are the competitor rankings of peer submissions confidential? Yes, that would not be released. We're going to try and use those to utilize you, people in the industry, innovators, to try and get your opinion on some of this stuff, to get a first cut at how things look. And then we will use our professional reviewer pool to judge kind of down from there.
So there's a question about judge background and what their technical or business or marketing expertise is. We have a nice selection of judges. We have actually a large selection of judges, and they range with their experience with everything mentioned there. So some of them have technical expertise. Some of them have very specific expertise with a specific technology in the solar industry. Some of them have business backgrounds. Some of them have venture capital and entrepreneurial backgrounds. It's quite a wide mix.
Right. Will we be able to continue? There's kind of two related questions here. Continue pursuing connector agreements after the ready phase? Absolutely. The connectors and the power connectors are there as a resource for you as an innovator, and the whole point of having them there is to try and help you succeed. So if you haven't gotten to utilize that group as much as you would have liked, they should still be there for you moving forward. And someone said if you leave the connector field empty in your submission because you either didn't have time or were not able to engage with the connector yet, will that be reflected? Yes and no. If you weren't able to because there just wasn't a good match, maybe that wouldn't matter. However, one of the major activities that's being judged in this contest is your ability to engage with just engage in general, to make sure that you've gotten out there and thought through your idea, asked people who are actually experiencing the problem you're trying to solve, whether your solution makes sense, and gotten some feedback. So if you've kind of sat in isolation and not sought out any feedback at all from anyone, whether it's a connector or not, that would probably not be reflected well based on the way we've structured the actual scoring.
So there's a question about page counts, and do they have to be exactly, like in this one case, 2 pages? Excuse me. No, it's a guideline, so if you only have 1 page to submit, that's fine.
So it says the judges' scores will be based on how well we've answered each question based on the bullet points that are provided for each of the 4 questions. More or less, the bullets are guidelines. So if you feel, but the judging bullets are the specific questions we've put into the reviewer platform or the judging platform that they will actually score as we've written out in the rules. The bullets, they're not going to be searching for the specific listed bullet in how they're scoring. We provided the bullets kind of in the left side of these tables about just a general guidance on how we think maybe you can best answer some of the things that you're going to be judged on. However, it's up to you to structure your 2,500 words in the best way possible so that when they're scoring the judging criteria on those scales from 1 to 6, they have the information they need to accurately answer them. But if you skip 1, for example, that's not going to necessarily cause a direct negative score on your part. It's more a guideline than a firm requirement.
There's a question about some specific technology to submit, and the bottom line is that if your technology relates to solar energy and innovative new solutions related to solar in any way, that works. So emergency solar power or battery storage backup systems and things like that, I think would work. So as long as it's related to solar energy and cool new innovations related to that, it works. So posting the narrative answers to the 4 questions is done also on the HeroX platform. So, there's a way that you just answer those questions on the HeroX platform. There's areas for those as well.
Yeah, so we recommend that you use a template, ideally the template that's formatted as a Word document. And the submission form on HeroX will allow you to upload your completed template.
I think Debbie may have answered this one already earlier, but it's saying, I just recently learned about the competition, and haven't had time to form a team yet. Will I be able to compete? The answer is yes, you can compete because hopefully you've already been working on this even though you didn't know about the competition. However, you're going to need to make the case that you've been working on this idea and progressing it and validating it as we kind of discussed before.
There's a question about cost of the demo day budget. I suppose you could put the demo day, travel to demo day in your budget, but I don't know if that's necessary. I think that we're looking at that as kind of like a side thing. So, but of course, if you win the Ready contest and you get the prize money, you can definitely use that prize money to go to demo day if you make it to the Set and Go contest.
Well, yeah, that kind of brings up another larger question, Debbie, which there might be some confusion on whether we're going to, treat this like a grant where you have a formal budget and you invoice and things like that. This is definitely not that. This is a prize where you're receiving the prize for what you are doing right now, and you would receive a cash prize that you would then be able to utilize in any way that you saw fit. I think in the rules we ask you, if you win the prize, how do you plan to utilize those funds to hopefully advance and win the Set and Go contest? And that's just more to give the judges a sense of what you're thinking you're going to do in order to get to the next phase. However, it won't be, if you make a mistake or it's not perfect, I don't think that would be disqualifying in any way.
Correct. And we're also not looking for exact budget for like $50,000, right? We want them to leverage the prize money and potentially match that with industry dollars and other things like that. So the budget, we're not looking for like the perfect, one-to-one matching of what you're going to do for the $50K, but we'd love to see what else you're going to do and who else you could bring to the table and what other funds you're going to be bringing in as well.
Right. And regardless of what you put in the budget, the prize amounts are capped at $25,000 to $50,000, depending on the number of winners that are selected. So if it's more than that is required, that would be up to you to try and pull together so that you can meet the requirements for the Set and the Go contest and win those.
So there's a question about timing, and lots of these potential solutions may take more, several years to actually produce something that's manufacturable, and that's totally fine. But I think what we want to know is how can you advance your idea or your prototype in this time period? How can you get it to the next phases easily? So we realize that this money may not get you completely over the valley of death, but hopefully it will help somewhat to get you over the valley of death. So I think how you should answer the question 3 is, your plan for getting there. And if this is a piece in the puzzle and, first or second or third steps, and you still need, 5 or 6 or 7 steps, that's okay. That's okay as well.
Right. I would caveat that with the point of this prize is to get someone to the point that they have a committed pilot test partner to test, kind of a robust prototype solution in a kind of real world scenario. So that's the end prize, the Go contest. And so if you're well beyond that or way before that, this might not be a great match for what you're trying to do. So just keep that in mind.
So there's a question about what happens about the work that happened before June. So, clearly, hopefully you have been working on this longer than the last 90 days, and that's 100% okay. I think that that background information is very important, actually, to your submission. Some of that information will help, explain why your solution is so important, and, what you have been working on. We're really going to be looking at what's been happening over the last 90 days, but clearly you've gotten your product to a point before June, and that is of interest to the judges.
Someone mentions they don't know any connectors. That's expected. We've got a whole web page dedicated to this problem where you can look in your region and see the ones that are local to you and their contact information. And you can also see the power connectors and all of the connectors we have listed there. And you can just go ahead and reach out to them so that they can help you. But if you don't reach out to them, there's no way for them to know that you need their help.
So there's a question about, can systems engineering development be provided by the connectors in the test and the design? And the answer is yes. So, so some connectors may offer that, some prototyping facilities and other facilities may offer that, and then of course some of the national labs can offer that. So yes, that's what our network is here and ready and able to help with.
There's other IP questions about, how is the IP protected if they, post a video that's public and things like that. That we are not IP attorneys here and can't guarantee that something will be protected. You should take normal IP protection measures if you're concerned about that. However, if you include details in the actual 4 questions write-up, that is not going to be made public. However, the video will be public, as will the technical assistance request form and the summary slide. So if you have concerns there, you should not include trade secrets or proprietary info in that you don't want the public to know about. And you can also mark anything you deem to be sensitive in the 4 questions write-up as potentially sensitive so that it's properly noted in that way.
There's a question about, let's see, how many entrants do we expect? That's a great question, and we don't really know. This is the first time we've done this prize competition, and so we really don't know. So we're hoping that there's a lot, but we don't know until literally 11:59 on the 5th. So, hopefully we have in our mind, maybe we'll get around 100 to 200, but we don't know that for sure until they all come in. The 4 questions, by the way, we suggest that they're in Word doc format, but they don't have to be. You could submit that however you would like, including, you could save it as a PDF and submit it that way as well.
Someone's asking what a 1-page PowerPoint slide is. That's just saying if you open PowerPoint, you have one slide that you are available to utilize to meet this requirement. So don't deliver like 10 slides, deliver 1 slide. And that is a requirement. I think this question says, do I have to do it? And the answer is yes.
So we want the 1 slide just because that's something that we want to be putting up on our website to just kind of tell the public in real simple terms, what your solution or your idea is. So that's why we want that. That's why it doesn't require a whole bunch of slides. If you do have any trouble getting a reply from any of our connectors, I would love to hear that. So please message us or email us at challenge@nrel.gov. Because definitely I would like to know that, because we're building this great network of folks that should be getting back to you. And if they're not for any reason, we do want to know that. I would, if you've had an issue like that, I would definitely, number 1, tell us about that, so we'll fix that. But number 2, please try to reach out to one of those 5 power connectors, because those folks are under contract to be useful and helpful. And so we would love for you to reach out to those folks as well.
Yep. All right, we're getting down to kind of the last 10 or so questions. So if you haven't heard us answer them, it may be that they were written in a way that was very confusing or we weren't quite sure what you were asking. If you have follow-up questions to what we've already said, now's the time to go ahead and type those in so we can try and get through them in the time we have available. So the next question is, if you win the Ready, can you recruit additional team members that were not previously involved? Absolutely. So if you win the Ready contest, that cohort of winners of the Ready contest are the only ones that are eligible to win the much larger set and go contest. And so once you win that funding, you should do everything you can to address the judging criteria that are listed in the set contest to try and meet the goals of that contest. And you will then be judged based on how you perform to achieve those goals. So if that involves additional team members or pivoting your approach or whatever it may be, that's totally up to you, because you're performing during the open prize period to achieve the goals of the set contest in this case.
So there's a question about when the cash prizes will be made available. And yes, if you win the Ready contest, we're going to turn around that the cash prize as quickly as possible. And the intent is, yes, so you can use it in the set contest. I will need your assistance, though. So if you are a winner, I will need you to complete an ACH form, which is basically a form that allows electronic transfer of funds into your account, and then also a W-9 form. And so the faster I could get those forms back, the faster we could turn around payment. If for whatever reason those forms are held up, obviously that takes a little bit longer. But the intent is that we're going to be making those payments very quickly so that you can use them in the set contest.
Right. Someone had a follow-up question. Do they need to really address every bullet that the judges will score? You should put yourself in the position of the judges. They're going to read this and then have to assign a score of 1 to 6 on whether they agree or disagree with each of those bullets. So if you haven't provided them with anything that could provide clarity to them or context in whether they should agree or disagree with those definitive statements, they're probably going to disagree with it. So that would lower your score. So it is probably in your best interest to think through how to best craft your 2,500 words to give them information, give the judges the information they need to agree with all of those statements that are listed.
There's a question about contacting National Labs for assistance, and of course, that's what the whole technical assistance voucher process is about. So, yes, that's the point of that. So if you want to work with a national lab, go right ahead and put that in your technical assistance request, and request either a specific national lab or just any national lab will be responding anyway. But if you have a specific national lab you would like to work with, you can definitely mention that in the technical assistance request.
Debbie, I'm not sure if you answered this one. It was the Ready if they win the Ready contest, will they receive cash and time to use it for the set contest? The answer,
yep.
Yeah, yes.
Yep, I did. Yep, I said, we're going to turn around as fast as possible.
Sorry,
and and we just need the proper forms to do it in a quick manner.
All right. The question was, what was last night's deadline? That was a deadline for ideation. So in order for someone to say that an ideation idea provided them the inspiration to apply and solve that problem, they would have needed to post the ideation, I think it's by today. But you have until the 5th at 11:59 Eastern time to submit your submission package.
So where are we going to post all the videos and slides of the contestants? That'll all be on the HeroX platform. So within the HeroX platform, once all the submissions are in, you will see kind of like a card kind of setup for each of the submissions, similar to what you see on the ideation platform today. But you can people will be able to click into that and then learn more about your team and what you guys are doing on HeroX.
And so just to be clear, not your entire submission package is not made public.
Correct.
When you complete the submission form, it'll show you the fields that are public. So that's like your video, the PowerPoint slide, and the basic description you put at the top. The answers to your questions and things of that nature are those will remain private, and only the judges will see that.
Great.
All right.
So I think we got most of them. Do you have another one, Victor? Because I know we have 3 minutes left.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if anyone has any last questions, now's the chance. I think there's a question here about, is this specific thing a good match? We really can't provide feedback to that and would point you to the rules. But in general, if you're, I think we've laid out very clearly in the rules what we're looking for, and it's fairly broad in terms of just solving big problems in the industry that can hopefully positively impact U.S. manufacturing in some way. Let's see if another question came in. Will letters of support be public? Those were not listed as public, I believe, in the rules.
Correct. We aren't going to make them public.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I thank you very much for your attention today. If you have any further questions, please send them to challenge@nrel.gov. We will be checking that email regularly because we do know the deadline is fast approaching. So let us know if you have any additional questions. We will post this webinar on our YouTube channel as well. And we really, really appreciate your efforts that you're putting forward in this, and we're really looking forward to your submissions on Friday. So thanks, everybody, and have a great day.
Thank you very much.